All right, let's talk about two of the most important tools in a developer's life, Git and GitHub. Now, if you've heard these names thrown around, but you're not totally sure what they do, don't worry. You are in exactly the right place. We're going to break it all down for you nice and simple. So to really get why Git and GitHub are such a big deal, we first have to talk about the problems they solve. Let's paint a picture of what life was like before them. Trust me, it could get messy. We're talking about a true developer's nightmare. Okay, imagine this. You're deep into a huge team project. It could be for school, could be your first job, and you are just pouring your heart and soul into the code. So the deadline's here. And what happens? Your teammate goes to the boss and tries to claim they wrote all the important stuff. But you know, that was your work, your late nights. How do you actually prove it? I mean, without a system that tracks exactly who did what, it's just your word against theirs. Not a great spot to be in. Or, okay, how about this one? This is a classic, and I think we've all been there. You're working on your own project. Everything is running perfectly. It's smooth, it's stable, it's a thing of beauty. And you think, you know what? I'll just add this one tiny new feature before I call it a night. And bam, total disaster. That new feature just nuked the whole thing. The site is down, nothing loads, just pure panic. So what do? How do you get back to that perfect working version you had just an hour ago? Are you seriously going to sit there and try to manually delete and undo every single thing you just did? There has to be a better way, right? Well, there is a better way. And this is exactly where Git comes into the picture. It's the solution to both of those nightmares. Think of it as your ultimate safety net, your code's personal time machine. So what is Git really? Simple? It's a version control system. That's a fancy way of saying it's a tool that lives on your computer, and its entire job is to watch your code and track every single change. And I absolutely love this analogy, a time machine for your code. It's perfect, because Git doesn't just save files. It creates a complete, searchable history of your entire project. Every line you add, every bug you fix, every character you delete, it's all logged. It's a perfect record. So how does this magic work? It's all about something called a commit. A commit is basically a snapshot, a safe checkpoint in time. Let's say you finish coding the website's header and it works perfectly. You make a commit. You're telling Git, okay, save this version, it's good. Then you move on to that risky new feature that, whoops, breaks everything. No sweat. You just tell Git, hey, take me back to my last commit. And poof, in an instant, you're right back at that safe checkpoint like the mistake never even happened. Okay, so Git is awesome. It's this powerful time machine running right there on your own computer. But what happens when your computer crashes? Or what if you want to work with a teammate who lives across the country? That's where GitHub enters the scene. Now, this is super important, so let's get this straight. Git and GitHub are not the same thing. This is a big point of confusion for beginners. Git is the tool. GitHub is a website. It's a place on the internet, a cloud service, where you can store your Git projects. It's like an online home for all your code. This little chart here breaks it down perfectly. Git is the tool on your computer. GitHub is the website on the internet. Git works locally, tracking your history. GitHub lets you host that project online so you can work with other people. My favorite way to think about it? Git is like the Word document on your laptop, and GitHub is like Google Docs, where you can share it and collaborate with your team. Here's another great analogy. Git is your private workshop. It's where you're building stuff, making a mess, figuring things out. GitHub, that's your online gallery. It's the polished public portfolio where you show off your amazing finished projects. And believe me, this is exactly why you see GitHub profiles plastered all over developer resumes. Okay, so we know what they are, but how do they actually work together in a developer's day-to-day life? Let's walk through the basic workflow. It's actually a really simple cycle, but it's incredibly powerful. So it all starts with you writing code on your machine. Once you've got something working, you use Git to commit your changes. You're saving that snapshot locally. Next, you push those commits from your computer up to GitHub. Now it's backed up and your team can see it. And when a teammate makes a change, you pull their work down from GitHub to your computer. That's the rhythm. Code, commit, push, pull. You'll be hearing those words a lot. All right, we've covered the what and the how, but let's wrap this up with the why. Why is this so important? Because, and I mean this, learning this stuff isn't just a nice-to-have skill. It's absolutely essential. I really can't say this enough. This is a non-negotiable skill. I don't care if you're working at a tiny startup or a huge company like Google or Apple. Everyone uses this. Knowing Git and GitHub is as fundamental as knowing how to write a line of code in the first place.
Seriously, learning these tools basically gives you developer superpowers. You can suddenly collaborate with anyone, anywhere. You can build a rock-solid professional portfolio that proves what you can do. You can even contribute to the massive open source projects that power the internet. And you can do it all safely without that fear of breaking everything. For real, it's one of the first things any recruiter is going to look for.
Look, at the end of the day, your code tells a story. It's the story of the project you're building, and it's the story of you as a developer. Git and GitHub are the tools that let you write that story, track it, perfect it, and then share it with the entire world. So, are you ready to tell your story?